MS Sumantiran Mantrithuma.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, for the opportunity to speak today on this very strange bill that we are debating. It's called Appropriation Bill for 2020, and we are debating it in the month of November 2020. Before I get to the subject matter, I wish to, at the outset, say that in the years 2010 to 2015, during the budget debates, when I spoke on the second reading, I criticized the fact that the then President, today's Prime Minister and Finance Minister, held the portfolio of finance, on the basis that a person who was not directly responsible to Parliament held the portfolio of finance, and that did not accord with the principles enunciated in our Constitution. I am glad that today the situation is different, and Prime Minister, who is accountable to this Parliament, holds that portfolio. Nevertheless, that is spoilt by the fact that he is the brother of His Excellency the President. The bill that is before us not only is a strange bill, but it's an act to cover up various illegalities that have been perpetrated in this country. Now, why do I say that? An appropriation bill must be debated and approved prior to the financial year for which it applies. It is only then that the executive obtains the approval of Parliament to draw from the consolidated fund, borrow, and generally administer the finances of the country. Article 148 of our Constitution very clearly says that Parliament shall have full control over public finance. No tax rate or any other levy shall be imposed by any local authority or any other public authority except by or under the authority of a law passed by Parliament or of any existing law. So there was no law until now. There is no law passed for the financial year 2020 that the Parliament has approved. No law. What was approved were certain resolutions under Article 150, Sub-Article 2. Now, those resolutions do not permit levying of taxes or borrowing by the government. I will read Article 152 and then I will come to Article 153, which is important for today's debate. 152 says, no such warrant shall be issued unless the sum has, by resolution of Parliament or by any law, being granted for specified public services for the financial year during which the withdrawal is to take place or is otherwise lawfully charged on the consolidated fund. So what can a resolution under 150 sub-article 2 authorize? It can only authorize the drawing from the consolidated fund such sums of money that are necessary for specified public services only. For public services only. And that too, in Article 152, it says for specified public services only. You cannot do any developmental work. You can pay salaries of public servants and other expenditure directly related to public services. That is all a resolution under Article 152 can do. Now, during this financial year, we have had two such resolutions passed. One covering the period 1st January 2020 until 30th April 2020, passed in October last year. And then another one covering the period 1st September 2020 to 31st December 2020. Now, even those two resolutions passed by this House can only be used to pay for specified public services and not for anything else. All of us know that that is not how finances have been handled in the country for this year. There has been a severe need to make payments, to spend, to make grants to general public who were affected in areas, in several areas. In the whole country, people were given 5,000 rupees in the month of April and May. None of those are public services. But all those expenditure was done. Those expenses were met. Developmental activity was also carried out. All this in violation of the very strict limitation imposed by the provision in the Constitution that says for specified public services only. So there was a blatant violation of a limitation in the Constitution by this government. And what is worse, for the period 1st May to 31st August, there was no resolution. No resolution under 152. What the Honorable Minister of Finance stated today is that twice the President, acting under Article 150, Sub-Article 3, authorized expenses. Now, what does Article 153 say? Where the President dissolves Parliament before the appropriation bill for the financial year has passed into law, he may, unless Parliament shall have already made provision, authorize the issue from the consolidated fund and the expenditure of such sums as he may consider necessary for the public services. Again, he can only authorize spending for public services until the expiry of a period of 3 months from the date on which the new Parliament is summoned to meet. Originally, the new Parliament was summoned to meet on the 14th of May 2020. Thereafter, after the Election Commission postponed the elections, it was put off until the 20th of August 2020. Nevertheless, the authority that the Constitution gives the President, the very limited authority that the Constitution gives the President, is during a period of dissolution, he can authorize, but he can only authorize for public services, expenditure for public services, and nothing else. So there are two issues here. He can authorize for expenditure, but that must be limited only for public services, not for anything else. If you look at the bill before us, that has all kinds of developmental activities specified. Bad it is that this is coming in the month of November for this financial year. It is blatantly revealing to us that what has been expended is far beyond the authority that the Constitution gives the President. And the Constitution gives even this House when it acts under Article 150, Sub-Article 2. So what are we doing today? We are trying to legitimize grave, illegal and unconstitutional acts that have been perpetrated in this country. Appropriation Bill 2020, that is before the House today, is not a covering approval. It's not a ratification. A ratification or a covering approval can only be something that is done legally. If something is done legally, then you can ratify it. If something is done legally, then you can grant covering approval for it. But no illegality can have a covering approval or a ratification. So that is the sorry state that we are in this country today, debating a bill which is blatantly for the purpose of covering up illegalities. The very reason that the government has presented a bill called Appropriation Bill 2020 confirms that the government concedes that there is an illegality that needs to be covered up. Otherwise, as the Honorable Minister of Finance stated, all of these periods are covered, he says. There were 4 orders, 2 resolutions under Article 152 and 2 under Article 153. So then why do you need an appropriation bill? If those are legal, why do you need an appropriation bill? The very fact that you have brought an appropriation bill at the tail end of the financial year, unprecedented, at the tail end of a financial year, seeking what you call a covering approval, is to cover up illegalities. Now, this is not a strange, I started by saying we are debating a strange bill, but it is not so strange considering what the government is anyway doing today. We were told of a royal decree last night, a royal decree signed off by the army commander in his capacity as army commander, saying no persons will be allowed to leave the Western province with immediate effect until the midnight of 15th of November. Now, under what law, pray I ask you, can the army commander make such an order? Can anyone in the government answer me? Under what law can the army commander make such a decree? This sounds like a royal decree. And his loyal master of the king is announcing it to the public. That is how things are done in this country today. Wholly and totally illegal acts are being blatantly published. When COVID struck and we came to know of it in the month of March, several of us in the opposition asked for a reconvening of Parliament. We even went to the Supreme Court asking for reconvening of Parliament. Because one of the reasons we urged was that Parliament had total control of public finances, and that in order to meet this unprecedented threat, Parliament had to authorize expenditure. Amongst other things, like the curfew, we hear of quarantine curfew. Wherever did you ever see that phrase, quarantine curfew? The law does not recognize any such thing. The Public Health Inspectors Union, PHI's union, called for tougher legislation to prevent COVID-19 spread long ago. I have the newspaper article from Daily FT. PHI's call for newer and tougher legislation to prevent COVID-19 spread in May 2020. I am tabling that. So we said, country needs new laws. They said the quarantine law is 123 years old. The contagious diseases ordinance is over 100 years old. They were done for cholera, one for cholera and the other for smallpox, not for a spread of a disease like COVID-19. So, for Parliament to reconvene and for making of public, authorized public expenditure for various other reasons. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court heard this petition for leave to proceed for 10 full days and refused leave without assigning any reasons. This is That is also unprecedented. Ordinarily, as a regular practitioner in the Supreme Court, I can say, within about 10 minutes, they decide whether leave to proceed ought to be granted or not. If there is anything to be looked into, leave to proceed is granted. That is decided within 10 to 20 minutes. You don't hear a matter for 10 full days. Full days. We sat till 5 some days. 10 full days. And then decide that nothing to look into. Such a joke. I regret to say, Parliament exercises judicial power through courts. So it is here that we can even make remarks about that. Unfortunately, government stubbornly refused to reconvene Parliament. And therefore, we were put into this spot where expenditure was being made without proper authorization by Parliament. Not only that, something else also happened. Government borrowed. Now under Article 150, either under Sub-Article 2 or under Sub-Article 3, there is no talk of government being able to borrow.
ඔබතුමාට තවත් විනාඩි 2යි.
Thank you. There is no talk of government being able to borrow anything. But government did borrow. Did borrow. Already the government has borrowed. By what authority? No authority at all. Printed money. Just minted money. Right? In order to meet this. So, rule of law, as I conclude, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I want to say this. Rule of law, it has been said, is the bedrock of this country. Rule by law is also not desirable. But what we have is something far worse. It is rule by executive diktats. That is what we have today. 3 members of this House have been prevented from attending these sessions for the reason that they are in remand prison. That may be a good thing. Nevertheless, their right to attend Parliament has been recognized, and if there is a vote taken, they will be brought here. But whilst that is the rule prevailing here, one of the honourable members of this Parliament, Honourable Sivanesadura Chandrakanthan, was seen chairing a DCC meeting in Batticaloa 2 days ago. He was seen opening an office building yesterday in Batticaloa. Now how does that happen? A member who is in remand having a right to attend this House is another matter. That happens as a result of a ruling by the chair here. But how does he go about chairing DCC meetings and attending functions like openings of office buildings?
කාර්ය අවසන් මන්ත්‍රීතුමා.
Therefore, I say today is a sad day when this House is taken up for debate, something wholly unprecedented, of trying to pass an appropriation bill for a year that has gone by, and we will not participate in the passage of this legislation when it is taken up at 5 this afternoon. Thank you.
ස්තුතියි.